From the shores of Monster Island to the depths of a hollow earth. Not another Kaiju podcast.
Welcome everybody to Not Another Kaiju podcast, and let's just address the elephant in the room right away. Yes, we have rebranded. We are no longer Kaiju United Town Hall, and the reason for that is, well, the old format of the town halls was to record an episode whenever big things in the community happened. But big things don't always happen in the community, and Jacob and I were talking, and we found that we really like hopping on the mic and shooting the shit about giant monsters stuff, new or old. So we decided to ditch the old format and make something totally new, more frequent episodes, more of a traditional podcast format, and we also made a change in our roster. We decided we're going to need a veteran podcaster's help in doing this, so we invited David Scrivani of the Talking Toku podcast. Who?
Who's this man you're talking about? Hello.
I don't know. So, some guy. I found him on the streets panhandling.
We got to be careful on those guys.
The name also flows a little better. Instead of Kuth, Kuth, you can just say Knack.
The Knack podcast.
Okay, yeah. Talking Toku's just tuh.
Anyways, yeah, so we're still going to be talking about new stuff, but if we want to spend an episode talking about the Gamera Heisei trilogy, we're going to talk about the Gamera Heisei trilogy. So, to start off the new show, we are going to talk about new stuff. Boys, it is Godzilla Day. We are recording this on November 3rd, and my God, we have so much to talk about. Jacob, you want to give us a quick overview before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything?
Oh man, where do we begin? Obviously the Godzilla Day festivities in Japan is huge now. There's all kinds of news and reveals that happen throughout the evening. Well, we'll call it afternoon in Japan, but evening for us.
The early hours in the morning for us on the East Coast.
It ran till like 4 a.m. my time, and I'm in Salt Lake City. But it kicked off with a bunch of figures on display, which was pretty cool. We got our first look at the SH Monster Arts Anguirus on full display, which was quite the awesome sight to see. Personally, some of the cool figures on display, that's the first thing you walk into when you walk into these festivities. You see all the new stuff that they've previously announced leading up to the show, because they want to save some surprises for the presentation. But I just think that's such a cool thing to see. It's kind of like a mini Comic-Con in a way, So, they start out the festivities and they're like, here's some trailers. Here's Digimon versus Godzilla, of all things.
Now enjoy 2.5 hours of Yumiko Shaku playing Godzilla Battle Line with everybody.
You say like that's a bad thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, last night I was struggling to stay awake and I was just hoping to see some exciting stuff, but it was just, all right, next round. I'm like, oh my God, what? Give me the short film.
It was kind of, they had the schedule posted in advance, so you could set an alarm and go to sleep, I guess, but
yeah, I guess that's on me.
Waking
but
up at 5 a.m. to see the
I
short
did
film.
think it was a little funny. You and me were watching it the night it was airing, Nick, and there was that one guy that won the battle line little battle because they had people come up on stage.
Yeah,
and something happened. I think he tried to give Miss Shaku a hug or something, and they carried him off. They were like, "All right, buddy, time to get off stage." It was really weird.
So he walked up to her and they were like, "Oh no, this way. Sorry."
Yeah, it was almost like the cartoons where they have the giant hook and they pull him away. But it was like with just security guys. They were just ushering him away, get out of here. Come on, time to go.
It's hard out here for a simp.
But there's that announcement that they're doing a full-time Godzilla comic in Japan now. They're finally like, dude, IDW's killing it over here. We're gonna do some shit.
What exactly was that? Because I tapped out around 1:30.
Yeah, I didn't see any details about. Did they even say any details? I just saw that it was happening, basically.
There's a couple details that were on their Twitter. So it will be serialized, kind of like Shonen Jump stuff, but not in Shonen Jump. if you know what I'm talking about. If not, I can explain. It will be serialized in Young Champion, so I guess that's like a young adult or young child or something series of mangas. Godzilla will be designed by iconic kaiju artist Shinji Nishikawa. You should know that name. And a brand new space monster will be designed by Hiroshi Maruyama. And
Okay.
as far as I'm aware, he is like the Heisei Ultraman artist. So he designed a lot of Heisei Ultraman kaiju. So you got a great Godzilla designer and you got a great Ultraman designer teaming up for a comic book. We don't know who's writing the comic itself, but we will have at least one monster designed by Nishikawa-san and one, designed by the other guy.
Nice. Jacob, I forgot, who had the theory that the reason they had 2.5 hours of Godzilla Battle Line was because that slot was reserved for the new Godzilla film reveal, but it was leaked, so they had to scramble and fill it with Battle Line.
I don't remember who that was, but that's pretty funny. I don't think it's true, but it's fun to ponder.
I mean, I think it's not that far-fetched.
But
Because that was leaked. So Toho was like, oh shit, all right, we better drop this. Well, what do we do for Godzilla Day? How do we fill that slot? I got an idea. Battle Line.
Yeah, but it would make more sense to have it during the Yamazaki thing that was scheduled later.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter like when it was going to be. Like, they just needed to fill however much time was reserved for the reveal.
I'd have to go back and look at the schedule they posted before all this craziness went down, and maybe we could have the answer.
That was a bona fide leak.
Yeah, it got scooped by some scoopers. Like, I think Daniel RPK had it on his Patreon, and Daniel, for the kaiju fans that don't follow the scooper stuff, Daniel is pretty spot on with trailers and stuff, but he usually stays in Hollywood and Marvel land. So the fact that he got a scoop on Godzilla -1's follow-up being announced, A, it kind of shows the reach that these movies are starting to have, and B, that's pretty impressive. He was spot on. So, back to Godzilla Day. Another crazy thing I saw, and I'm sorry to really continue on Battle Line coverage, Nick, but I mean we had 2 hours of it.
That was not Godzilla Day. That was the Godzilla Battle Line celebration extravaganza.
Have you played Battle Line, Nick? Are you just like a hater?
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not.
I like Battle Line.
I like Battle Line too. I'm just griping because it was hard to stay up, and I'm just like, I want to see something else that isn't Battle Line. I'm falling asleep here, and then I had to tap out, and all I really saw was Battle Line. Look, I'm a little upset because I didn't get to see the reveal of the winner of the new Bandai figure, the Giant Condor.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
We did it, guys!
Giant Condor sweep, baby.
and apparently with that, it was the global winner of the votes. So it wasn't just the dumb Americans overwhelmingly voting for the Giant Condor. It was everybody around the world.
Though I do recall you mentioning that they said a surprising amount of the American fans voted for the Giant Condor.
I think so, because my Japanese is rough, but I did hear Amerikajin, which is American, and they were kind of chuckling at the fact that Condor won. They're a little surprised.
I'd like to think Kaiju United had a hand in that. That push.
We turned into a super PAC to promote the campaign of the Giant Condor, and we won the ballot. We won the Bandai election. Okay?
I was Condor's campaign manager. I worked tirelessly, so all that hard work paid off.
I will admit I committed voter fraud. I voted on both of my email accounts. So
I mean, all the big accounts were pushing for Condor. The Godzilla guy, he was really pushing for it on his Instagram. So, I mean, it worked.
It did.
YOLO Swag, Senpai, everybody was like, we want this.
I know there's a lot of people that were disappointed with those results. And let me remind you that we also got the announcement of the Bandai box set the Dream 5 box set, which is actually 5 runner-ups from last year's ballot that they just went, you know what, screw it, we're going to make these 2. We're going to make some money. Because the top 3 last year were Rose Biollante, Zilla, and poor Des Ghidorah, who did not get a figure made and got shafted to this year's ballot.
So wait, you're telling me that the reason why we got the new Zilla Bandai figure was because last year? I didn't know that.
He was runner-up, yeah. Second place, I think.
He's
Second
actually standing right here next to me. He finally came in after weeks of delays. I finally got him.
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
I got it. No, I'm actually serious. I know you can't see it, but I got him in my hand. He's so ugly, and his existence is nothing but pain, but I love him. Who were the runners-up? I forget. I was just so focused on the fact that the Condor was a choice.
Honestly, same.
We don't know who the runner-up were for this year, but last year, as I said, top 3, Rose Biollante won, and then it was Zilla and Des Ghidorah rounding out the top 3. And then the Dream 5 box set is Ghidorah 64, I think, is the design. Mechagodzilla, another Mechagodzilla 74, I think. Oh my gosh, I'm fuzzy. And then Gabara, who was on the ballot last year and got a figure made.
Oh, wait, I'm looking. I see it right now. A friend of mine.
Another Anguirus, yeah.
And Kamacuras.
Yeah, but he's rounding them out. So it's cool that Kamacuras finally got a new Bandai. Because it's been like 25 years. What?
Oh, no, you already answered. I was about to say when was the last one, but...
Back when the Bandais were hard vinyl and they weren't soft and squishy.
Now that you mention it, Zilla is very squishy.
Yeah, so a lot of great stuff from Bandai this year. I can't freaking wait to see what else they do. Like the ballot this year, I think, was pretty solid. Giant Condor's cool because he's never had a figure. A lot of people wanted Eternal Mothra. I don't think Eternal Mothra's ever gotten a figure. Orga is in desperate need of another one. He's only ever had one figure.
Is it really only been one figure? Dang.
I might be wrong. Actually, I'm wrong. There's the regular
All right, cool.
Bandai. And I think there was an RC Orga that came with Godzilla 2000 in a 2-pack. But needless to say, Orga figures are pretty scarce. You know what I'm surprised about? Is that Dorat didn't win, because Dorat was kind of a contender in this ballot. People are really gunning for a Dorat. Yeah. As far as the comments I saw.
Look, as a proud campaign manager for the Giant Condor, I was not going to sit idly by and let that happen. I'm not saying I committed some political campaign fraud myself or some espionage.
Hey now. So anyways, no, I'm just kidding. What were you saying?
No, I was going to say, speaking of like obscure characters getting figures, who do you think the next one's going to be? Because it's clear that fans want like obscure characters as figures. Because how many times, Jacob, you and I were talking about this earlier, like how many times are we going to get a repainted Shin Godzilla or another Showa era Godzilla? And I said maybe like Skeleturtle. That'd be cool.
I'm shocked that has not happened yet.
I think now's the time, David. We got Super Godzilla, we got Bagan, however you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
We got Zilla, we got the Giant Condor. I think it's coming.
Yeah, like who's more obscure than Skeleturtle, honestly?
Mamagon from Godzilla vs. Gigan. Let's fucking do it, cowards.
Let's do it. I would actually buy that.
The sea louse from Godzilla 84.
Oh, Shakiris? I'd buy a Shakiris figure.
I'm going to counter you, Nick, and say that we should get more Showa Godzilla figures. I mean, some of the only Bandais we have are either the really, really old ones or the memorial box. Like, Let's get another Godzilla 62. Or, man, how long did it take us to get a freaking Cybot? That is so cool. I think that's rad.
That's really. I haven't really thought about getting a movie monster series in a while, but that Cybot figure is very tempting.
Yeah. But yeah, obscure characters, man. The giant octopus, that'd be cool.
Wasn't he a runner-up a couple years ago?
He was on the ballot a couple years ago, I think. Yeah, and they just did not make him. So maybe
I mean,
you
the
guys
fact that they're on the ballot themselves.
I guess that does say something, yeah. Well, hey, I mean, Giant Octopus did win. Bringing it back to Battle Line again, Giant Octopus did win that Battle Line ballot a couple years ago for the next character. He's in there.
Yeah, and the inaugural winner was Gorosaurus.
I'm trying to think who would be a good one, because I can't think of anything more obscure than the giant condor or Skeletor.
I got one. From All Monsters Attack, the plant man that grabs Ichiro.
Oh, yeah, Plant Man.
So 2023, we had Anguirus 55, Mogira 57, Ghidorah 64, Gabara, Titanosaurus, Rose Biolante, Des Ghidorah, Zilla, Kamacuras, and the Gigan that is not Gigan Rex from the animated short film. I don't know what he's called.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, though. Gigan Miles.
I mean, I didn't mean it like, oh, we don't need yet another Showa era figure. I'm just saying, like, Godzilla in general. And like, it seems like when it comes to Godzilla figures, we always get the same like variants of the same characters.
You mean a Heisei Godzilla? Let's just say it out loud. Don't say the quiet part out loud. I'm a little tired of Godzilla 93. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna catch some heat right now.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see an issue with that.
You guys want to talk about the short film?
You guys can do that because I actually have not had a chance to watch the short film yet.
Jet Jaguar with Gigan claws. Holy shit!
I've seen pretty much all the cool bits, but I have not watched it in its entirety.
Oh my god! How cool was that?
What a surprise! Everyone and their dog was like, "Oh, King Caesar or Mechagodzilla is going to come in and save the day and help him out." No, Jet Jaguar and Godzilla just kicked Ghidorah's ass alone. Just the two of them.
And then Jet Jaguar, spoiler alert, Jet Jaguar died and Godzilla swam off into the sea.
Boss.
Upset that he lost his best friend.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Well, I mean, theoretically they can. He is a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a matter of, hey, I just got to run to Radio Shack real quick and pick up some parts.
Are Radio Shacks even around still?
No, I don't think so.
Nick, why are you lying to the people? We can't rebuild Jet Jaguar. Radio Shack is dead.
All right, fine. Don't go to Radio Shack and get the parts. Order them off Amazon. It is 2024 after all. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Well, there you go. There you have it. I did appreciate those short films. I am just bewildered by the level of coolness that they have. Like they do stunts and stuff with Jet Jaguar that you don't usually see in the Godzilla movies. Mm-hmm. Part of that's that Ultraman crew members work on these films and the director worked on Ultraman stuff. So I think that really it gave it some new life. It breathed some new life into everything. But like seeing Jet Jaguar hug Ghidorah like Goku did with Raditz when they killed Raditz, where he held him in place and Godzilla shot the atomic breath. Like, I guess we're going full anime here, but I'm okay with that. It was pretty epic.
Couldn't he have just held him from the back and just, Megalon style and say, "Do your thing, Godzilla"?
I guess, but that's not as cool.
It's not as cool as needlessly sacrificing yourself.
Yeah, man. Then he gave the thumbs up and he went out like a Terminator.
Don't worry, he'll be back for the next update. Just got to update Microsoft.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I don't know. It sounded like this might be the last one for a while. That's what I'm seeing a lot of people saying.
I'm curious.
I don't think just because the one last year ended on a cliffhanger and this one didn't doesn't mean we're not going to get another one next year. Because the one where he fought Hedorah and Gigan, those weren't necessarily those weren't cliffhangers.
That's true.
We are getting a Blu-ray collection in Japan of all the shorts, though. So this
That's
might be the end. This might be the end of this era, which is kind of neat. That it is kind of dope that they're collecting these together in like a Blu-ray edition. I hope we get it in the United States somehow.
Which is funny because I remember the last couple of years when these would go up and then be taken down almost immediately, that's what people were thinking was going to happen. Like, oh, they're probably going to put it all in a collection and sell it for like $50 or whatever, and fans will eat it up. And look what happened. That's exactly what they're doing.
Did they put this one up yet? Because I heard somebody say it was up for like 5 minutes and then they took it down. Like the short film itself.
I don't think they ever even put the Jet Jaguar one up last year by itself. You had to like scan through the live stream to find it.
No, they did, because it's on Internet Archive in like 4K or 1080p resolution. Okay. So
I mean, it'll be interesting because I still haven't seen the first one they did with the 54 suit recreation.
Oh yeah,
from like 2020.
Yeah, I never saw that, which is a shame because that suit is gorgeous. That's, in my opinion, the best recreation they've done. I mean, I guess it's only out of 3, but that 54 suit I think looks incredible.
I'm more shocked that they didn't do anything with or unless they did, because I didn't get a chance to finish the live stream in full today. But I'm surprised they didn't do anything with Mecha Godzilla, like not even Gemstone.
Yeah, I was really hoping to see something from Gemstone because the Megalon show last year was so good.
They've been running a streak every single Godzilla Day. Oh, it's this film's anniversary. Here's a short film featuring Hedorah, Gigan, Megalon. But they just did the continuation of last year, which, I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. I'm just a little surprised.
Yeah, and I was really interested to see what they were going to do with a Mechagodzilla one, because I know it's not like officially confirmed, but it's very, very heavily implied that this is in the Heisei era continuity. It's like, well, technically we already have a Mechagodzilla in that continuity. What could they do to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the original Mechagodzilla and update that for that continuity? Would have been interesting to see, but I guess we're just not seeing that unless they do it next year for Terror Mechagodzilla's 50th, but I don't know.
I was talking with Chris Eaton from the Kaiju Kingdom podcast leading up to G-Day, and we were thinking maybe Gemstone could work on a feature. I think that's always a pipe dream thing, but
that would be pretty huge.
I think that'd be pretty big. And that's kind of what we thought was happening, because there was no Gemstone thing at the show. But no, not even a peep, man. I'm not sure what's going on with that. They're still
just hard at work.
Fingers
animation
crossed.
Takes a long time.
Yeah, animation does take a while. Nick fell asleep when this happened, but we also got Mr. Yamazaki on stage. I don't know Japanese that well, so I couldn't tell you what happened and what was said, but he did talk about being at New York Comic Con. I think I saw you, Nick, in the recap footage at the front row.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Why are you just telling me this now?
Because I forgot.
I'm in an official piece of Godzilla media? What?
I think so.
Oh my god. So.
You're a key part of Godzilla lore, Nick.
Let me see if I can
Kaiju Junkie, part of the Reiwa continuity, confirmed.
It was really fast and really blurry, but I think that's you. I'll put it in the chat so you can see it. They had this slide where it was like him signing and stuff. Then the panel. Then they filmed when Yamazaki got up from his chair and walked to the stage as the moderator introduced him. And everyone got up and clapped because they were excited. And I took a really fast photo. And I think that's you underneath the red light.
Yeah, that's me. Well, it's all like, oh yeah, the frame splitting. I look like I have two heads. Yeah, that's me.
It was really fast, but you're there.
Yes,
you were in official Godzilla Day media packages.
Let's go. I'll put this on the video on the video version of this episode. But yeah, that's me. No, that's so cool.
I did supposedly hear, and this is hearsay, so if anyone listening is like, Jacob, he didn't say that, you're wrong. He reportedly said, I cannot talk about this next film yet. So, we did not get a title, we did not get a release date, we didn't get anything like that. It was just talking about the
So
film.
What you're saying is that -2 is confirmed.
No.
I mean,
Hey,
should we
he
talk
did.
about that? The fact that we got a film announcement.
I was just gonna say that's
What?
a
We
good
haven't actually
segue.
gone
You
into
want to
that
talk
yet.
about? You want to throw some theories out there? What's gonna happen?
I mean, we know literally nothing. Just that there's a Godzilla movie in production, and Yamazaki is attached to direct.
Time to speculate.
It's the speculation corner of the podcast.
Mhm.
I want to backstep just a little bit and remind you guys Yamazaki filmed his announcement video in New York City in front of the Brooklyn Bridge. So Yamazaki made a boss power move and filmed his announcement right in front of where Godzilla 98 died.
So we're getting a remake of Godzilla '98, is what I'm hearing.
Godzilla -2 is going to feature Zilla as the main antagonist. Perfect.
-1 is more or less a remake of G54. The next one's going to be a remake of '98.
You remember those old leaks where it was like, there's 2 Godzillas in this movie?
I do remember I do.
Hey, maybe they may be right this time.
I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't. That when that leak came out, it sounded pretty interesting. I would not be opposed if they went that direction
For 2 Godzillas.
for 2 Godzillas.
I mean, that hasn't been done before. Unless you count the Godzilla game from 2015, where 2 Godzillas sometimes appear in campaign missions.
Yeah, but that's barely any story relevance, and that game's bad.
Are you telling me you didn't enjoy 4 hours of just blowing up the same generator but in different cities?
No, because I didn't last 4 hours. I turned it off because I got bored.
I bet you're not laughing now because that game is worth $300 on some eBay listing.
I am laughing because I still have my copy.
David. Yeah, David, the joke's on you.
Well, actually, the joke's actually on me because I sold the game.
Yeah, I still got mine, so sorry, Nick.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm just coping because I remember when that game appreciated to $100, and I have a buddy who owns a video game store. He's like, "Hey, do you have this game?" I'm like, "Yeah." You're like, "Do you play it?" "No." "I'll give you $100 for it." "Okay." And then
I got a lot more for that, brother.
and no, but to add insult to injury, 3 months later, it went up to $250. I'm like, fuck.
I'm curious now. How much is it going for nowadays? My last viewed item on eBay is that 16 millimeter print of All Monsters Attack. That's up to $3,400 now. If anyone's interested.
I'm seeing
It's
$500.
Oh, I'm seeing in the 200s.
209. Oh well, this is brand new, so okay.
Wait, hold on. This one's for $150. It says does not work. The game does not work. The disc is deeply scratched and will not play. This is purely for collector's purposes.
Hey man, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
I guess so.
There's a graded one that's holy hell, $1,500.
Grading it, Jesus Christ.
Happy Godzilla Day. We're talking about the PS4 game right now.
Yeah, this is going real well. What a great first episode.
We derailed hard from our speculation corner.
My speculation is that okay,
Godzilla
do I want to
will
be
in it.
Godzilla will be in it. Do I want to I guess I'll be serious for a minute. I'd like to see what he did with the Always Sunset on Third Street I Can Talk trilogy. Where each film was in a different decade. So -1 was post-war 50s. This one would be in the 60s. We'd jump ahead a little bit. See how life is in the 60s. And then Godzilla shows up, does his thing. And if he does a third one, he does like trilogies, we could go into the 70s. And not, yeah, maybe. Yeah, environmentalism.
I do recall there was a quote around, I can't remember what the source of it was, but I do recall him saying that if he would to do a sequel, there would be a time skip, a bit of a time skip. I think he wanted to do it 6 years or so ahead of time or something.
Well, that's a good question. Do you guys think it'll be a follow-up, or are we going to continue with the Reiwa era being an anthology and just get something completely different?
I would like to see a follow-up. Toho hasn't really done a proper follow-up aside from the Polygon films since Tokyo SOS. it's been over 20 years since we've gotten like a proper sequel to a Godzilla film. And I think the fact that enough people liked -1 to the degree they did, that they'd be stupid not to do a sequel to it. So
I could go either way. The fact that it was set up for a sequel and they don't, because like they did that with Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla had like the potential for a follow-up, and then we never got that. And if they do the same thing, it's kind of be like, all right, Toho, why are you leaving us on all these cliffhangers? But on the other hand, I really like how the Reiwa era is sort of not picking up or not succeeding where the Millennium era failed, but succeeding where the Millennium era missed an opportunity, because that was an anthology series. But if you look at all the movies, they're very similar, at least tone-wise. Yes, they tell different stories. Final Wars was really the only one that stood out and felt like something that was completely different from the rest. And meanwhile, the Reiwa era, you got Shin Godzilla, which is like the first one. It's a metaphor for real-world politics. We have anime, a period piece. So I really like what the Reiwa era is doing in that regard. So I would love to see like them continue that.
I'm going to make things a little interesting here and say I completely disagree with your assessment of the Millennium series. Have you even watched those movies, Nick?
I will have you know I had the Pluto Godzilla channel running all day. Well, no, yes, they are different, but you look at them, at least filmmaking wise, they all are made very similar, like the same creative decisions. Well, not creative decisions, but like they're all made very similar. They look.
I know what you're going on, Nick, because I'm in agreement with you. It's more of a vibes kind of deal.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. They all have the same vibe. And really, the only one that stands out, because I said this on the Final Wars panel at G-Fest, Final Wars really like has completely different vibe going on. It literally is a Ryuhei Kitamura movie dressed in a Godzilla suit. I think it was Elijah who said that.
I mean, to be fair, to give credit where it's due, I think the reason that a lot of the Millennium films feel similar in vibe is because one director did three of them
Exactly,
out of the 6.
Yeah.
So there is that.
One guy did half of them. Like, of course, they're all going to be similar.
No shade to Masaki.
You can't tell me. You can't tell me Megaguirus, GMK, and Final Wars are the same movie. You just can't. You cannot tell me that. I
can.
don't believe you.
I'd be wrong, but I can.
You'd be so wrong. And I'd even, 2000 feels a little different than Megaguirus. The Kiryu duology and Megaguirus feel similar, but even the Kiryu movies lean a little more serious than Megaguirus, which is like, I love Megaguirus. I know people don't.
I'd like to defend myself. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to shit on the Millennium era. I'm a Millennium era fanboy. I'm just saying that they really didn't take advantage of the Millennium era being an anthology like they should have. And the Reiwa era is doing the anthology concept really well.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And here's where I agree with you. Yeah, here's where I agree with you. And I butcher the word every time, but I'm going to explain it in a way where you can probably say the word if you're listening. The two Reiwa era films we've had so far, and I guess the anime trilogy, yeah, they're all artistically driven films by a director who has a very specific style, co-director, Shin Godzilla, 2 co-directors. But you get what I'm saying? Very specific styles, very specific tonalities. They're very different. Like, they're just complete. It's like they hit the reset button every time. And it's cool.
Is the word you're looking for, Jacob, auteur?
Yes, and I always butcher the word when I say it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with Final Wars, it was they literally said, Kitamura, make your own movie, just make a Godzilla. They wouldn't want to take over. I'm like grabbing at straws at this point.
Sure. But I just couldn't think of anything.
So Yamazaki's got to do a kaiju battle, right? Like, come on.
Yes.
Like, come on.
We haven't seen a live action, with the exception of the short films, a live action versus Godzilla movie from Toho since what? Final Wars?
Final Wars.
Yeah, since Final Wars, dude.
I want to see what modern Toho can do. And I think I said this when this podcast was still Kaiju United Town Hall when we were talking about -1. I want to see what how a modern Toho handles kaiju battles in a feature-length film.
Yeah, and there's proof that Yamazaki can do it really well too, because he did Godzilla the Ride, as we've talked about extensively here. I love that thing. I've only seen the cam rips. I haven't experienced it in Japan. I'd love to, but it's like a completely different like movie. It's like it's more monster mash and smash and punch and stuff, which is kind of cool. Like, yeah, Yamazaki did this beautiful like war film in -1, but it's proof that he can handle both styles competently, and I think that's really cool.
He's not just a one-style director. He can do. He's pretty much a jack of all trades. How many like genres has he done at this point?
All of them.
My point exactly. So it's not like he's not just like a one-trick pony. David, I hear you typing away over there. What you doing?
I was just bringing up Yamazaki's filmography, man. I'm not doing anything.
Okay. All right. How about I present it to the esteemed panel? How about this? If they do a versus movie, original kaiju or a revamp of a existing one,
I would like more original kaiju.
Original kaiju, man.
That's always the way to go.
We all know what Toho's gonna do. Come on. It's gonna be Mothra, Ghidorah, Rodan.
It's gonna be the big five. Yeah.
I hope they let him do Hedorah.
I'd love to be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, and Anguirus or Hedorah would be phenomenal. I think the ability -1 showcased with the regeneration could work really well in contrast with Hedorah. Now that we think about that,
I'd never considered that. That's a very good point.
Because remember, in Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Hedorah is acidic. You know, he kind of burns Godzilla and stuff.
Down to the
you could have
bone.
Hedorah like burn his arm off or something, you know, and have him grow it back. I don't know if they'll go that graphic, but you know what I mean?
I mean, like you said, Jacob, you can't believe they went there with Black Rain, so...
I was very shocked they did Black Rain in that movie. Hedorah seems like... I'm happy he likes that movie. It's very based of him. But I think that question was more of a hypothetical, if you could remake any of them. But maybe he's onto something.
I was just about to say, like, I love when we posted that reel, how many people interpreted that as, oh, he's gonna remake Hedorah. He wants to remake Hedorah, and like,
I'm pretty sure he's gone on record saying that he really likes Hedorah in the past as well.
He's gone on record, confirmed -2 is gonna have Hedorah. Yamazaki said it himself at New York Comic Con. Kaiju United broke the news.
Hey, I mean, what a crazy 2 weeks. Like, if we're gonna talk about what's new, New York Comic Con was huge. We got featured in Fangoria reporting that news. That's pretty crazy.
Pretty sick.
Not to like beat our chest and stuff.
You're welcome.
I'm just excited. I'm eager for news, but I'm glad that they're taking their time and they didn't jump the gun and reveal stuff when they weren't ready, unlike when it got leaked earlier in the week. But that being said, I'm interested to see how they announce this movie. Are they gonna go big and go huge and announce it at San Diego Comic-Con next year?
Oh, that would be something, man.
I think they haven't even gotten to the pre-pro stages, because like that video said, it was just greenlit. That doesn't necessarily mean that production has even started yet.
I don't think. I think that it was greenlit a lot earlier than we know. But they can say,
well, definitely by New York Comic Con.
Yeah, they can definitively say it is in production now. So yeah, it's in pre-pro, but they have not started filming yet. But I'm curious because I am expecting 2026. What do you guys think?
2026 seems pretty safe. I mean, I don't. Next year feels way too early.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people say 2025 because Toho wants it out now, and they got a history of doing that.
I suppose that's true.
We don't know what's going on behind the scenes at Toho, so literally it could be anything. But yeah, I think 2026
to be fair,
is a safe
like
assumption.
I feel like the turnaround from when we first heard rumblings of -1 versus how long it took to actually come out, like it was just barely over a year, I want to say.
It was, yeah. We first heard in like 21, 22, Yamazaki was doing untitled monster movie for Toho. And we were like, oh wow, Yamazaki's doing a monster movie for Toho? I wonder what that is.
I think it was Godzilla Day 2022 when they revealed the logo, the -1G logo.
That's when they revealed it, but there were definitely rumblings of it prior to that. Like there was that.
Yeah.
It was like a casting call for extras on the Godzilla app or something in Japan.
Yeah.
And that was like earlier in 2022, if I recall. But so the turnaround, like we could very well see it next year. I don't know if that would be the case, but it's possible.
From a fan's perspective, that would be preferable. Like, I think it's awesome that like -1 to even a year later is still getting all the buzz it has been getting. But it's like, okay, how much are they going to milk -1? When are we going to get something new?
I mean, they milked Shin Godzilla for quite a long time. So
yeah, Shin Godzilla was the poster boy for 7 years. I think -1 is our new poster boy.
Well, yeah, but Shin Godzilla wasn't milked to the degree that -1 was. I mean, it is mainstream. Like,
I completely disagree. Actually, you're kind of right in the mainstream levels. In the mainstream levels,
in the
yes.
vein where it's like a year later, we're still talking about it as if it was just released. Like, and I mean, well, it just got re-released,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I'm not saying that Shin Godzilla wasn't a big deal. I'm just saying I feel like -1 is an even bigger deal.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense to me. But I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm just along for the ride, man. I don't know what's coming, but I mean, man, I'm sure we'll get it before the next MonsterVerse film. I guarantee that. I would expect that. But
I mean, in a perfect, actually no. The more I think about it, because the next MonsterVerse is coming out 27, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, in a perfect world, like they get released just like GXK and -1, where like they're just mere months of each other. But
that was crazy.
Come to think of it, I don't want to wait that long.
Well, we'll have Monarch Season 2 at least to tide us over.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
We don't have to go too deep into it, but what are our expectations for Monarch Season 2?
I have my hopes. I really like Season 1.
I like Season 1. Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting. As far as we know, the past cast isn't back, so they gotta just rely on the present, unless they do flashbacks with other people and we don't know about it. I think Amber. I am so sorry, I forgot her name. Midthunder. That's right. Amber Midthunder from Prey is in the Season 2 cast. She is phenomenal.
She is delightful.
Phenomenal in Prey. Oh my goodness, she is so good. So we have a really talented actress joining this cast. So I'm excited for that. I don't know.
Just give me some more monster screen time. Just a little bit more. That's all I ask for.
I was pretty pleased with their usage of the big boys in Season 1. It's just enough. Just enough.
I do wish the rumblings of a Toho Kaiju that the producers confirmed that they were thinking about it and it just didn't work for the story. I kind of wish that happened, but
which one was it that was like, I want Jet Jaguar? Was that Fraction?
I can't remember. Probably Fraction writes comic books. That makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds like a Matt Fraction kind of thing.
I don't think it ain't gonna be Jaguar, but it's something fun like Kamakurus would be cool.
The Giant Condor, perhaps.
The Giant Condor.
Yes.
The
Well, I
studio,
remember when we were talking about it, Jacob, you were like, oh, if they're going to use Toho Kaiju, make it mean something. You know, if they're going to use Varen, just don't have him pop up and out of nowhere and just toss him away. They could do that with a giant condor. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
everybody's got
But
giant condor fever, but honestly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset if they just brought in the giant condor for an episode only to have him just be obliterated by Godzilla after 5 minutes.
That would be the most faithful adaptation of a Toho character they've done to date.
Right?
That would probably be my favorite MonsterVerse moment of all time. Eviscerate the giant condor, just like melt his wings off.
Kaiju United has been flying the flag of the giant condor for a while now. I think we need to start a campaign for this.
A vote for giant condor is a vote for us all. I'm gonna start a change.org petition.
Get the giant condor in the MonsterVerse.
Jacob, you've already done some press stuff for Monarch. Pull some strings if you can. Use your connections to get the giant condor for season 2.
We just hop on the press junket for season 2 with Chris Black. Can you guys put the giant condor in this show?
And in the credits of the first episode, with special thanks to Jacob from Kaiju United.
You know what? I'd wear that with a badge of honor.
It'd be for a great reason too.
If that's my 15 seconds of fame, I got the giant condor in the MonsterVerse. Okay.
My 15 seconds of fame is looking extremely blurry in an official piece of Toho Media. Your 15 seconds of fame is bringing the giant condor into Monarch season 2. Perfect.
We are influencers at Kaiju United. You hear that?
Made it.
What do you guys want to talk about next time?
I rewatched The Host recently. It still holds up.
It's been a hot minute since I've watched The Host.
Korean Kaiju.
Yeah. Reptilian. I watched Reptilian for the first time the summer.
You sure did.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Maybe next time we can do Korean Kaiju.
Could be
That
cool.
might be fun.
I mean, if you guys want homework, Reptilian is free on YouTube, so
I've seen I Reptilian. Man, I could have saved this for when we cover Reptilian, but when I bought all my Godzilla movies on VHS, I also bought Reptilian, so I would watch like some of the Showa Godzilla films and Godzilla vs. Destroyer and Reptilian.
Reptilian is the Moonfall of kaiju movies. It is an objectively horrible movie, but it is at the same time the best movie ever made.
I have never seen Reptilian, so...
Oh my god.
You have homework. Watch Reptilian. Take notes. It'll be on the test.
Alright, I'll keep it in mind.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, the way that Moist Critical obsesses over Moonfall is the way I obsess over Reptilian.
That'll be us.
Overall, like, from what we experienced with Godzilla Day this year, guys, I figure we should maybe wrap up with this, unless we want to keep going. How are we feeling? Like, we cool with the reveals? Are we interested in what they showed off? Do we wish there was more?
I mean, I could have gone for another hour of Battle Line, but, you know, I'll take what I can get.
Hey. Earlier, I was trying to bring up the Gamera is coming back to Battle Line, but I didn't get to say it.
Gauss.
Yeah. So, there you go. Godzilla vs. Gamera is canon, baby.
I mean, it already was. They had Rebirth Gamera in there, too.
Oh, yeah.
And that Lost Media Godzilla and Gamera stage show from the 70s.
There's that, too.
That's right.
But, I would have liked to see a little more. It was kind of weird that Toho was kind of advertising this because, like, oh, it's the 70th anniversary. It's really big. And then there wasn't really anything all that big revealed here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mechagodzilla and Caesar got kind of shafted, my man.
Yeah, they did like almost nothing for the 50th anniversary for that movie. Again, maybe they're saving stuff for next year for Terror of Mechagodzilla, but nothing for King Caesar. That's insane.
They were declaring that even last year when it was his 69th anniversary that, oh, Godzilla 70th, like they were already like rolling out the 70th anniversary branding. So Toho really isn't known for making sense all the time. So they could very well do it next year. But maybe. Yeah, David, I'm with you. More is always good. I'm not necessarily disappointed on what we got this year, though. That short film with Ghidorah and Jet Jaguar was friggin' amazing. Would have loved to have seen a Gemstone movie, but It's cool. I'm excited for the Is the Blu-ray, the short films of the Blu-rays, that's coming to the States, right?
We don't know
We
yet.
We don't know.
I would err on the side of no, but
We don't get cool stuff like that.
exactly.
Oh, wait, did we talk about the box set that's going to be like $5,000 USD?
The what?
It's like $500.
What is this?
There's like a 4K box set of a bunch of movies. It's like $538.
Whew, goodness.
Hopefully, we can be there next year. I've always wanted to be in Japan for Godzilla Day, as I'm sure every Godzilla
That's a goal. That's a goal of mine too. But yeah, I agree overall. It would have been nice to see a little more 70th anniversary celebration stuff. Gemstone was my biggest disappointment. It was real sad not seeing those guys. So hopefully they're back next year.
More is always nice, but at least the Condor won.
Yes.
I love how even the presenters sounded surprised.
Yeah, they were a little surprised. They were like, huh?
Wait, really? Are you sure?
Just the power of the internet, man.
Hell yeah.
Never underestimate it. And then I'll be in the Monsterverse. Monarch Season 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Matt Fraction, make it happen. All right, you guys want to wrap?
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think that's it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the rebranded Not Another Kaiju podcast. It's our first episode. Kept it casual. Just wanted to talk about Godzilla Day and all the fun stuff that happened this week, which is probably the biggest Godzilla week of the year besides maybe G-Fest. So a lot of cool stuff going on. We'll do some more episodes more frequently, and we'll have David aboard with us. Maybe some guests down the road. We'll see. But thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode and the fun banter and dialogue. Thanks for tuning in.
Make sure to give us a follow if you're listening on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss an episode.
And leave a like.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.